Imagine someone thinking about you constantly, not just once, but over and over, replaying your words, your actions, the way you smiled, the small contradictions that make you human. That's obsession, and it isn't random. Machiavelli studied what makes people move and stay moved. He didn't write down cheap tricks. He traced the psychological architecture of attention, desire, and fear. This isn't a lesson in cruelty. It's a lesson in clarity. How presence becomes magnetic when it's shaped with intention. Obsession grows where mystery meets timing and emotional control. It settles in when you refuse to be fully readable, when you step back and let absence create value, when your reactions are measured instead of immediate. It deepens when kindness is given with boundaries, and when people begin to see themselves reflected in what you offer. The kind of power I'm talking about isn't loud or aggressive. It's subtle calibration. It's arranging small moments so that someone carries you through their day without even meaning to. If you want attention, loyalty, and desire following you, learn to use absence, restraint, and strategic warmth. Those are the first tools we'll unpack together. Machiavelli understood something most people never do, that power isn't just about control, it's about perception. The illusion of power is often stronger than power itself. When people believe you hold something back, they start to wonder what it is. That wondering turns into fascination. And fascination, when fed slowly, becomes obsession. The biggest mistake people make is thinking that they need to be fully transparent to be liked or respected. But complete transparency kills intrigue. When people think they know everything about you, they stop paying attention. You become predictable, safe, maybe even boring. But when you stay just a little out of reach, when your next move isn't obvious, you pull others into your orbit. They start to fill in the blanks about who you are, what you're thinking, what drives you. That's how leaders inspire loyalty, how creators captivate audiences, and how certain people seem to draw others in without effort. It's not about hiding, it's about revealing intentionally. Give glimpses, not full access. Say less than you know. Let your silence suggest depth. The less people can define you, the more their minds work to try. And that effort, that curiosity, keeps you alive in their thoughts long after you've left the room. Machiavelli understood that human desire thrives on distance. The more available something is, the less we value it. It's a strange truth the mind wants to chase, not to hold. When you're constantly present, constantly visible, you give people no reason to miss you. But when you know how to pull back, when you vanish at the right moment, your absence creates tension. That tension isn't emptiness, it's energy. It's the mental space where fascination grows. People start to replay moments, wondering what you're doing, where you've gone, and whether they'll get to experience you again. Overexposure kills allure because it removes mystery. It's why even the most charismatic people lose their spark when they try too hard to stay relevant. You have to know when to retreat, to let silence speak for you. The key is not to disappear out of weakness or fear, but out of control. You leave the room when your presence is at its peak, not when it's fading. That's what makes you unforgettable. You exit while they still want more. Absence makes people assign meaning to your distance. They assume purpose behind your silence, power behind your restraint. That's how leaders, artists, and even lovers create gravity. They appear just enough to spark emotion, then vanish long enough for that emotion to turn into obsession. It's not about playing hard to get. It's about being worth waiting for. Machiavelli knew that emotions are the true currency of power. The person who can stay composed when everyone else is reacting becomes the one everyone looks to. Emotional control isn't about being cold or detached. It's about being centered, unshaken. When people can't easily read you, they start to study you. They analyze your silence, your tone, your smallest movements, searching for clues to what you really think. And that curiosity keeps you living rent-free in their minds. Think about the rare individuals who stay calm when others lose their composure. Their stillness feels powerful, even intimidating. It creates a quiet dominance, the sense that they know something others don't. Most people give away their power by reacting too fast, too emotionally, letting others see exactly where they can be provoked. But when you master your reactions, you become unreadable, untouchable. You force others to adjust themselves around you. They begin to crave your approval, not because you demand it, but because your emotional balance makes them question their own. Calm power is magnetic. It draws people in because it represents control in a world addicted to chaos. The less you react, the more they invest in trying to get a reaction. And that's when the dynamic shifts. They start chasing your validation, seeking the smallest sign of warmth or recognition. Machiavelli understood this. Control yourself and you quietly control everyone watching you. Machiavelli understood that kindness, when used with purpose, is one of the most powerful tools of influence. People expect power to be harsh, distant, even ruthless, so when it shows warmth, it becomes unforgettable. A small gesture, a well-timed compliment, a moment of generosity that feels genuine, these things disarm people. They lower their guard, and in that moment, connection forms. But here's the key. It has to be measured. Give too much, and kindness becomes invisible. It loses its weight. The secret lies in balance and giving just enough to make people crave more of it. Think about how powerful it feels when someone you admire gives you attention or validation. It stays with you, not because it happens often, but because it feels earned. That's what Machiavelli mastered, the psychology of selective giving. When your kindness isn't automatic, it becomes valuable. People start working for it, adjusting their behavior to win your approval, to see that warmth again. Strategic kindness isn't manipulation, it's awareness. It's understanding that human beings remember how you make them feel, and that the contrast between restraint and generosity leaves a deeper imprint than constant praise ever could. Be kind, but with intention. Give when it means something. Hold back when it doesn't. That balance keeps your energy scarce, your value high, and your presence addictive. Machiavelli understood that people don't truly fall in love with others. They fall in love with the parts of themselves they see reflected back. The mirror of desire is about seeing what someone values most and quietly becoming the embodiment of it. It's not about imitation, it's about alignment. When you reflect their ambitions, their dreams, or even their insecurities in subtle ways, they begin to feel seen, understood, almost exposed, but in a comforting way. That emotional recognition creates an invisible bond, one that feels natural, even fated. When you talk to someone who mirrors your energy, you feel drawn to them without knowing why. They seem familiar, like they just get you. Machiavelli recognized that this sense of being understood is intoxicating. It feeds the ego while lowering defenses. People start associating you with their own emotional needs being met. You become a mirror, but a flattering one, the kind that reflects back not who they are, but who they wish to be. To use this power, you have to listen more than you speak. Study people's desires, their patterns, the words they emphasize. Then reflect those things subtly in your tone, your choices, your energy. The goal isn't deception, it's connection. When done right, people don't just notice you, they attach to you. You become a symbol of their own desire, and that's what turns attraction into obsession. Obsession isn't about control or deceit, it's about understanding the rhythm of human nature. Machiavelli didn't create these principles to manipulate people. He simply uncovered what has always driven them. Every human being craves significance, recognition, and mystery. When you understand that, you stop chasing attention and start drawing it in effortlessly. You begin to see that power isn't something you demand. It's something you project through awareness, restraint, and precision. The 5 rules we explored aren't tricks. They're reflections of how influence actually works in real life. The illusion of power keeps people intrigued. Scarcity makes your presence valuable. Emotional control builds respect. Strategic kindness earns loyalty. And mirroring desire creates connection. Together, these forces form a kind of gravity, silent, deliberate, and impossible to ignore. That's the kind of power Machiavelli was talking about. Not the loud kind that burns out quickly, but the quiet one that lingers. True influence doesn't come from trying to impress others. It comes from mastering yourself, your emotions, your timing, your energy. When you do that, people begin to sense something different about you. They think about you when you're not around. They wonder what you're doing, what you're thinking, and why they can't quite let you go. That's real power. It doesn't shout, it doesn't chase. It simply exists calm, confident, and unforgettable.